Good afternoon and welcome to Talking Café. It's Wednesday, the 9th of March, and today we are joined by the health coaches. My name is Sarah Hill and I'm a village agent for the Taunton team. Today I am joined by Tori and Tom, who are health coaches, and they will explain to you about the service and how they support people who want to make healthy lifestyle changes. Today is non-smoking day on the 9th, and hopefully Tori and Tom will tell you how they can help support you with that. This session is a pre-record, but please leave your comments or any questions you may have in the comment box, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. So without further ado, Tori and Tom, could you please explain to the audience what health coaching is, please?
Yeah, of course I can. Hi, I'm Toria. I'm from the Neighbourhood Health Coaching team, and health coaching is a service that's available for anybody, adults, and who would like to make a lifestyle change. Like Sarah said, we can help you with goal setting to achieve a goal, and that could be around, like today, stopping smoking is the subject of today, but it could be to do with weight loss, it could be to increase your movement, to cut down on alcohol, to all sorts of things. So yeah, we're here for you. Do you want to add anything, Tom? Do you want to say what you...
Yeah. No, so just to say hi, I'm Tom, one of the health coaches, also in the Neighbourhood Health Coaching team. But yeah, just like Toria says, really, it's about working with individuals who want to improve their overall health. So whether that's their mental health, their physical health, better manage an underlying health condition that if they've recently been told they've got high blood pressure or pre-diabetic and they want to sort of manage that and have some support from one of us, then that's the sort of thing we can do. We offer 6 sessions to people, and they can be delivered over the phone or virtually, on the internet, or even face-to-face in a sort of setting that is chosen by them, really. Whether that's walking.
We do a lot in the community, don't we, as well?
Yeah, a lot in the community.
Yeah, we've got a lot of the wellbeing section area in the library, in Taunton Library in the town. So you can find a health coach there between 10:30 and 12:30 every day of the week. And we've got the blood pressure machine down there as well, and all sorts of things. So we're very accessible. You can see our email running along the bottom of the screen. If you would like to get in touch yourself, you can do and refer yourself in. But also we accept referrals from the GP surgeries, from pharmacies, from the village agents. So yeah, lots of ways to get in contact with us.
So if someone wanted to come along to the library, do they have to make an appointment, or can they just pop in?
They can just pop in. If you are having health coaching sessions, it may be that we meet you in the library out of those times. And there's different areas of the library where we can have a quiet conversation. And there's areas in there that are a bit more private. But as far as just finding us there, you can just, if you come into the library and you can't see someone with their NHS lanyard on who looks like a health coach, then if you go and speak to the librarians, they'll be able to knock on our door and the little booths and let us know that you're there.
Okay. So how, Tom, I think you said it was 6 weeks that you actually coach someone. Can you explain to us, what's included in a typical session?
Yeah, so those, like I said, 6 sessions, but it doesn't necessarily have to be weekly. So sometimes you can offer a weekly session for the first couple of weeks where you build up that sort of rapport. The individual can then think about actually what is it they do want to achieve in those sessions, and then you can potentially push them to sort of 2 weekly. So there's a longer period of support So yeah, those sessions don't have to be every week, and they're tailored really to the individual. So like I said, there's so many different ways that we can support, and the goals come from that individual as well. So we want them to sort of self-identify those goals rather than it being something that we think they need or the referrer thinks they need, i.e. the GP. It's trying to really sort of hone into what they want and how we're going to achieve that. So like I said, that some people just want to sort of talk things through on the phone over those sessions to sort of work out for themselves and just to sort of hear those ideas coming back to them to achieve those goals. And other people who might, like Toria says, want to increase activity or movement, it might be a case of actually going out and meeting them, walking, meeting them maybe in their local gym if they're signed up there, and just sort of promote and motivate them to go to those classes. I've got someone that I do that with. So it's completely up to the individual really about how that support and how those sessions go.
So it's quite person-centered approach.
Exactly. That's one of our,
it's always led by the people that are being referred, because nobody knows them and their lifestyles better than they do themselves. And so sometimes we don't set goals for people. That's one of the misconceptions of a health coach. Will set you a goal and you have to achieve it. They set their goals, you set your goal, and we help you achieve it. And so if someone says, do you know what, I want to quit smoking in these sessions, I want to do it by the end of, say, what are we now, March, I want to completely quit smoking by the end of June, then we would work with someone to help them achieve that. And the things, because it's their goal, there's no shame in not achieving it, because we're there to support rather than judge, rather than, well, you didn't do this or you haven't got that. It's a way to use this as a soundboard, and we can help signpost, because some people know exactly what they want to happen, they just don't know where to start. And sometimes just having that person say, like, right, well, do you know what, we've started, so what's the first thing you want to do? Actually, it seems really simple, but it's a big thing, and it can just be as simple as that. And just having someone to listen a bit longer than that 10 minutes you've got in the GP surgery. If you can get in the GP surgery to just say, I want to lose weight or I want to quit smoking, then actually it's you get longer to explain. Okay, so you might have been referred for weight loss, but tell me in that person's terms, why is that important to you? Why do you? And if the answer is because the doctor says, I'm not very healthy weight, okay, well, let's talk about that then. And it just gives an opportunity to then unpick all of these little strands of people's lives that matter to them, that mean something. It could be, actually, I do want to lose weight because my best friend's getting married, or I want to lose weight so I can run around the park with my children. And that's the goal, not the weight loss. It's being able to run around the park with your kids or fit into a particular dress. It's not always about one thing. People are so multidimensional, and that's what we really love about our job.
So as it is National Non-Smoking Day, how would you support a person in a session whose goal was to give up smoking?
Okay, first, to start with, it would matter to them why. I'd ask why they want to quit smoking. Why is it important to them? Is it just their health? Are they worried about the health implications that will happen in the future? Is it money? Is it financially? Like, what is it that really matters to them? Because at the moment, if someone feels they want to quit smoking because they should, because it's it's a good thing to do, actually finding the reason why is that really important, and those goals then can be surrounded about that. And then it's working to find what they've done before. Have they tried before? Have they tried to quit already? is there a time when they've actually not smoked for 3 or 4 months, and then they went out to the pub and friends were smoking, so they had another one, and now they're back, you know, all of these little stories, and listen to them of how they've tried before, what works, what doesn't, and see what alternatives might be out there for them with e-cigarettes, with the smoking cessation advice that's available online, and be able to help point and signpost them in the right direction to make them quit for good.
Yeah, I would add to that as well. It's you know, over those 6 sessions that, for example, might be over a period of months, it might be difficult for that particular individual to give up smoking completely, but you'd like to hope that you've given them the toolkit, or like Toria says, you know, signposted. It's not as straightforward as just saying, right, I want to give up smoking, so tomorrow I'm never going to buy a packet of cigarettes again, and then we're there to try and, you know, help them through that. It's about making it sustainable.
Yeah,
you know,
and some people do, don't they, Tom? We all hear people say, "I just quit smoking," and that's great. But yeah,
even if it's a case of that person wants to give up smoking, but by the end of the sessions they've cut down from, from 20 to 10 cigarettes. You know, that's a huge achievement.
Yeah, of course. And so if someone did fail, for example,
don't use the F word, Sarah.
No, but you know what I mean. Could they refer back into you again to go through that process again, or is this just a one-time referral that you would help somebody?
I would say the thing about those referrals, if someone was, say, came to health coaching to quit smoking, they quit smoking successfully. For them, they achieve that. 4 or 5 months later, they find themselves, they are back smoking, and they've got the tools, they know how to do it, but they're reluctant to perhaps come back to health coaching because they're going to be seen as a failure. They are definitely not, because actually you sometimes need that support. So you can come back into our service, or as many times as you want, with as many different goals. It may be they successfully quit, but now they are substituting cigarettes for a chocolate bar instead, and they perhaps are concerned about weight gain. So they can come back into the service. They may not get the same health coach. We are a team of, how many are there, Tom? 8 of us. 8 health coaches. So there was lots of us across the different areas in Taunton. So you may not get the same health coach, but you can come back to us if you were, shall we say, not successful long term with your goal. That sounds better than failure.
Yeah, I mean, I try not to put anything down as a failure, because I say to people, they're just exploring. They're exploring what works and what doesn't work. Like Toria says, you may set a goal in the first week, but by the time you come back to speak to them in a fortnight, they've actually realised that's not really achievable. There's other things have gone on, which means that they haven't been able to stride to that goal. But that's fine. We'll just reevaluate and rework. It doesn't, like Tori said, I suppose, don't use the F word.
In life, people's goals change, don't they, as well? So they may have come for you for one reason, but by you coaching them, you have found something else between you and have another goal. Yeah.
And very often someone might have a goal that they feel they haven't achieved, but we can help that individual look back and see all the steps that they've achieved on the way to do it, which they would never have achieved if they hadn't have strived to reach that goal. They might not. So if someone, say, for sake of, we'll stick to smoking because that's what we're talking about. If somebody wanted to quit smoking and they successfully did a week without cigarettes, and then something happened and they found themselves picking up a cigarette again. Yeah. Actually, the positive is they had a week free, a smoke-free week. Yeah. And that may not make a massive difference on the surface, but there's a week where they haven't, depending on how many they smoke today, there's a week where they haven't bought a cigarette, they've saved that money. Yes. After so many days that already start improving your health after quitting smoke, after so many weeks, you already start seeing a difference, and your blood pressure would have already started to benefit from just a week free smoking. So we always look at the cup being a cup, and it's not half full or half empty. It's full of whatever you put into it.
And I think I'd follow up on what Tori said there as well. It's, yes, they've done that week, which is great. So there's obviously something's worked there for them for that week. And also it's then a case of going back and looking at what happened, you know, what happened after that week, what were the barriers, what were the obstacles, what were the challenges, you know, going back to what I just said previously. It's about, you know, reevaluating to work out maybe something was, you know, something else might need to change for that smoking, you know, for them to be able, you know, is there any stresses in their life which we also you know, need to address? So there's lots of different ways.
I know when I'm stressed out, I reach for the sweet drawer or something like that. So you know, the goal for that week would be not to have any chocolate or anything like that, and then something happens, and you know, you
absolutely
and
you can feel like a complete failure if you reach for the sweet drawer. And I promise you, having one blip and reaching for the sweet drawer is definitely not going to do as much harm as going and having smoking 10 cigarettes again.
Through your time as health coaching, have you got any success stories that you could perhaps let me know, you know, tell us about?
Yeah. Tom, you've been in the team for a little while longer. Go for it. What's your...
Yeah, I've got, you know, success is derived by the individual, but there's, you know, and there's ones that I would probably class as being successful, but the individual might say different, and vice versa. So it's really difficult. But there's one that always sticks in my mind, and this particular person's goal was to catch the bus into town. So there was some issues around there's some mobility concerns, there was some isolation concerns. This was coming out of memory serves me rightly, lockdown 2, if we're going to call it that. So there was some concerns around isolation, some anxiety concerns. And if I'm honest, when we first spoke, I thought this was going to be, you know, you think a lot of people would just take that for granted, wouldn't they? Getting a bus into town. And, you know, the bus stop was only sort of 500 yards away. But actually, once I went and met this individual and saw actually the challenges she had and how hard it was going to be to get there, I thought this is going to be quite a tough ask in sort of 6 sessions. But she, you know, she went into it. She accepted everything we talked about. She pushed herself well beyond her sort of safety net, you know, physically and mentally, I would say. And we ended up on the sort of, I asked actually for a final session, which ended up taking it to 7 sessions, just because we wanted to get to this goal. And we actually managed to get on the bus and get into town, which was a huge achievement. But you know, going back to these, you know, that sounds quite on the face of it, quite an easy thing to do, doesn't it? You know, catch a bus from your local bus stop and go into town. But it's that was massive for her. Yeah, massive, just to be, you know, to get into. There were so many sort of obstacles and barriers, like I said, both physically and mentally, to be able to do that. But yeah, over a course of, I think that was probably over the course of about 3 months, maybe a little bit longer, that we sort of extended the sessions out to make sure she, you know, that she was supported for that whole time. But you know, that's one that sticks in my mind. But there's others that you can have success stories just in a couple of conversations. Just 1 or 2 conversations. You know, they've already got a goal that's in their mind. They're highly driven people, and for one thing or another has come up in their life, which is, you know, made it difficult for them to sort of work out how they get there. But you know, holding just 2, like I said, 1 or 2 conversations, and they're on their way again. You know, they're the ones, you know, saying I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and they're hitting goals left, right, and centre. So there's different ways, there's different sort of ways of measuring that success, and I would say it's really down to the individual to determine whether they find that it was a success having that support. But
and going back to your lady catching that bus, that's probably made such a huge difference to her life now, to be able to do that.
I
build
think
on that confidence.
Yeah, that's exactly it. The confidence, that was the main thing. You know, it's just the confidence I think she got from actually stepping on that bus, near her house, and then at the other end in town.
And that's something we see a lot of, isn't it, Tom, of people who coming out of lockdown have lost their confidence from the first one and everyone together. And then a lot of health anxieties about coming out, especially now restrictions are starting to lift completely towards the end of the month. And we are seeing a lot of people who actually are realizing now they haven't got that confidence, but they can't think of a reason they're not doing it, but they can't quite make that leap. I've coached a lady she was referred to us by the GP for sleep because she wasn't sleeping a lot and she had a lot of other health conditions. But she says, you know what, she's never slept. Since she was, as her dad didn't sleep, she really didn't sleep as a child. And she would go sometimes like 48 hours with 2 hours sleep. And that's not healthy for anybody. But after her 6 sessions over the course of 3 months, that was from December and up to just a couple of weeks ago, she was then getting a regular 5 hours a night, which again, wouldn't be enough for me, I have to say, but for her was a massive thing. And she'd then started to go out and meet her friends in safety, which she wasn't leaving the house, and then was happy to go to someone else's house and friends and just be social again. And it's a really important thing because we are social people, aren't we? We're not. Yeah.
And I think, with the COVID and the lockdown and everything, I think we can all relate to being isolated. And now we've got that little bit more of a freedom. You're in a bit of a rut because you don't want to go and do it anymore. So that's how. I think a lot of people feel the same way.
And we've got the COVID stone, as it was coined by a newspaper. You're not alone if you feel like, I can't. I put this on in lockdown, and I want to lose weight, but I don't know. And a lot of people that we're seeing overfed have never had a weight problem at all. Never needed to lose weight before. They do not know where to start. So for just helping point people to identify the habits that they perhaps want to get rid of again. Everyone, we know what to do. We're not going to tell anyone. We're not going to give diets. We don't weigh people. We're not, but it's there to offer that sound and that help and that accountability if people need it. And individuals, some people need more than others. And you just don't know until you start building that rapport with somebody. Well,
before we sort of finish up, could you just run through again, if anyone wanted to come into your service or be referred, how they can do that?
Okay, so there is a telephone number which is written on the bottom of the screen, but it's 07917 251 5817. You can call that. It is an answer phone message. You just leave your name and a telephone number to call back on as well. And then one of the health coaches will be in touch with you just to get a few details before then assigning you your own health coach. Or we have we have a website that's coming. It's really nearly there. It's just needs a few tweaks. But we've got a email as well, email address, which isn't on the bottom of the screen actually, but it's health coaching for the number 4 you at Somerset. Is it somerset.nhs.co.uk. That was terrible. I wrote that off.
That's sorry. Okay. We can put it in the comments.
We can put it in the comment below and what it is, the email address, because it's not flowing.
That's
but
fine.
You can email that, Or if you haven't got email address and you don't want to ring and leave an answer phone, you can, if you want to, ring your doctor's receptionist and just say to the receptionist, you would like to be referred for health coaching. You shouldn't even need an appointment. Doctor might want to know, but you can just do it that way as well.
And could they pop into the library and refer their
or
stuff
you
to
can
you?
pop into the library and come and see us. Come and find us. We'll also do community drop-ins as well. So we're at the Priorswood Church Tea and Talk at every Friday, that is, between 2:30 and 4:30. So you can come and see one of us there. We're also do all sorts of pop-up events in Priorswood and different areas, and you can find us. And at the Talking Cafes, I'm sure if someone came in and saw you, Sarah, at Talking Cafes, if you're a health coach, then you can.
Of course, yes, we would. Well, I thought this session was very informative, and for people that have never heard of health coaching, they've now got an idea of who they can go to if they need some help. Is there anything else you would like to discuss?
No, I would say the easiest way probably to refer yourself in, like Toria says, is probably through the surgery. If you're struggling, if you don't, if you're not confident phoning someone, and leaving an answer phone message, like Toria says, I think contacting your own surgery and doing it through that way is probably the best way. And you may even get support from someone in the surgery as well. Depending on
especially with the stop smoking, all the surgeries have a nurse as well as. But if you would rather it not be clinical, because we're not a clinical service, we are very much a holistic service. So it depends completely on you.
And it can also be referred for other services as well. So if you're being supported by other community services, like yourself, Sarah, or the community mental health teams, or SASP, or anyone like that, they should be aware of us as well, so they can also refer. We don't just pick referrals up, self referrals, all from the GP. We can pick them up from all sorts of different places, and we do work with individuals that are also being supported by other services. So there's sort of more of a collaborative approach. So don't feel just because I'm having talking therapy sessions, or the integrated rehab team are supporting me with a goal for my rehab, I can't be supported by a health coach as well. That's we can collaborate between ourselves and help maybe support a goal that's already been set. I do have some individuals that post-op, hip replacements, knee replacements, and they've been set goals by physios, etc. And now it's a case of that support's coming to the end. They're physically able to maneuver themselves, but that confidence has gone, and then we can potentially pick up from that. So like Toria said before, we're open to all sorts of different styles of health coaching.
And
I think that's quite nice, because not everybody, like you say, doesn't want to be clinical. They want it to be outside of that, don't they?
They do. So
I would like to say thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
I hope people find it as interesting as I have, and found out a lot more than I did know.
Awesome. That's great. Every day's a school day, Sarah.
It is. I'm sure our paths will cross.
Definitely.
Out in the community. And I'd like to say thank you again for joining me.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.